I just had a birthday recently. I just turned 24 years old. One more year I get to rent a car. I'm excited. Yeah, you're right. I'm 40. I'm fucking 40. I never knew why people lied about their age until I turned 40, and now I know why. It's because saying you're 40, not fun. Especially if you're talking to someone in their 20s. You tell someone in their 20s you just turned 40, they react like you said you were just diagnosed with a clinical disease. They say the same shit, the exact same shit. It's all like, oh, but you look so good considering. Oh, you're gonna live a lot longer, I bet. Medical science is really good now. Like, no, I'm just aging, I'm not dying. And plus, I don't feel 40 because I compare myself to my parents. When my parents turned 40, they already had a family and they owned a house and a business. When I turned 40, I owned a Hyundai Sonata and a cat with diabetes. That's what I fucking own. That part, I'm not lying about the cat. I do have a cat with diabetes. I never had a cat, like a pet, get really sick. And I took him into the vet like you're supposed to do, and I realized when I was doing all this that the vet's whole deal isn't like a doctor. Like, you go to a doctor and like, I'm sick, and like, here's the medicine you need. With a vet, you take him in, and it's more about how much do you love your pet. And that's going to pick the treatment, right? Because, of course, I brought him in, and I'm like, my kitty's sick, I'll do anything, please help him. They ran all these expensive tests, and the vet comes back and says, it turns out your cat's got diabetes. And I said, okay, cool. Seems like I'm going to have it soon, so we'll have more in common, right? Like... More to talk about while we're watching Mr. Robot and eating Oreos. Seems like a win to me. And he's like, no, there's more you gotta do. You gotta buy insulin every month. It's gonna be like $350 a bottle. You gotta buy needles. That's like $50 a month. You gotta bring him in to test his blood, make sure he's okay. That's gonna be like $500, $600 every single month. And then I said, hey, fuck this cat, right? Like, what? What are we talking about, $1,000 a month for this 13-year-old cat? Is there a chute I put him in? Or... Do you have like a take a kitty, leave a kitty thing out front, maybe? And he's like, oh no, there's a, I can see you're at like the Costco level of love, we're gonna dial it down. We put him on the generic everything, he's doing great, he's like this, I have more people come up to me about this joke than any joke I've ever done. He is fine, he's had it a year, please do not call the SPCA on me, he's doing great. Really, really thriving, he's back at work and everything, doing really great. But the needle thing, the vet was so aggressive about the needles. Like, he kept saying you can only use each needle once. You have to buy a special container to put those needles in. And then when the container gets full, you have to take them to a drugstore and pay the drugstore to get rid of those needles. And I said, hey man, I live in the Tenderloin in San Francisco. That shit gets full, I'm walking around like Johnny Needleseed, dude. Like, there you go. Only used once by a tabby cat. Enjoy! Thank you. I had a grandfather pass away recently. Don't get sad. He was in his 80s. He lived a long, fruitful life. But when someone passes away, you got to go through their stuff to figure out what you're going to keep, what you're going to do with it. So we're going through all my grandpa's stuff, and at some point, my grandmother comes to me holding his laptop computer and says, would you look at this and see if there's anything I need to know about on there? And I realize everyone in this room knows exactly what the fuck's about to happen. Just go for the journey. She's a sweet old lady. She doesn't know what the internet's capable of. She thinks that computer has like banking information or passwords, and she was a little tiny bit right. There was one Word document, it had 6 lines on it, which were all of their passwords, which were Willie Nelson 1 across the board, all the way. Every single password. The rest of that laptop, as everyone in here assumed immediately, you're correct, porn. Oh man, that 85-year-old man filled that Toshiba to the rafters with hardcore aggressive pornography. And he didn't hide them in a folder that said taxes or nothing. They were just all over the desktop, just all over this fucking desktop. And I didn't know what to do with this because it's like, do I erase everything? Do I just get rid of it? But that kind of felt bad to think about because also that was his life's work at the end. That really was. And then I thought, should I watch? Maybe I should watch some and see if maybe Grandpa and I had more in common than I. So I'll tell you what I did. I watched a couple just to get an idea, just to figure it out. And then I deleted everything, cleared it all off, and I took it back to my grandmother, like, there you go, it's completely, there's just a few passwords on it, that's all you need. And then Grandma took out this thing, she goes, by the way, he also had this hard drive. Do you want to look at this hard drive? And I'm like, no, burn it now, burn it. Throw it in the trash. And then my grandmother asked me if I wanted to speak at the funeral, and I said no. Because I've seen too much now. I know too much. I can't get up there. It's going to color. It's going to change everything. Like, I'm going to go up there and say, you know, Grandpa loved everyone. He loved everyone. Like, he loved stepmoms. Oh, he loved stepmoms. Barely legal Asian girls. He loved those too. Loved them so much. And sometimes stepdads. Not all the time, but once in a while. He loves some stepdads. My name is Drew Harmon. Thank you guys very much. Very much for sharing.